This company, I've been a part of it since the very beginning. I was prospector at the beginning and then integrated into vice president of exploration and now president and CEO. We've raised about 18 million to date here, and about 13 million of it has been very productive going into the ground and pulling out some really good drill intercepts. I'll touch on the cap table here to start. We have about 127 million shares outstanding, and like Rob said, we have 5 million in the bank from a financing we did just before Christmas. We have a large shareholder, Crescat Capital, owns about 19% of the company. In addition to that, we have inside ownership of 16%. So the location of the project, we're in BC. We're up in the northwestern part of BC. One thing to note here is that there's a lot of good deposits development stage and also past production and current production all the way up this whole trend up the West Coast mountains. And we are right up at the most northerly part of this, but we are actually very accessible. We use Atlin Lake to barge all of our materials down to this extremely large project here. It has no outstanding option payments or no NSRs on this also. It was all staked by myself through Core Assets. It's 1,100 square kilometers in size, and that's all shown here in this bluish polygon. We have 3 different projects on this contiguous land package. We have the Kim project, which is a skarn porphyry project, Labrador project, which is also another skarn porphyry, and then we have this very special brand new discovery known as the Silver Line project, and this has carbonate replacement, skarn, and porphyry, full spectrum at surface and drilled at depth now to this point. So just touch on a few things that we've accomplished so far. I mean, we've only drilled 9,800 meters so far on the project, and this is within a very small footprint of the area. But again, just note scale here. This is 1 kilometer right here. We've done, I think, 7 drill pads to date, targeting 6 different metals. We're getting grab samples and drill intercepts above 1,000 grams per ton silver. So we're kind of silver primary in one aspect, but then we're also a copper and molybdenum primary when it comes to the porphyry. We've intercepted every part of a porphyry. It exists. It's tangible. I have it, in core boxes. We hit a lot of skarn, similar to stuff that's down in Peru in the Antamina district, La Colorada mine. Very, very similar textures. And basically this year we're going to be drilling and we're going to be looking for that big intercept. So a little size comparison again, just to touch on. So the Silver Line project here has a diameter of about 10 by 9.5 kilometer size. So that's based on superficial mineralization. A lot of samples which I've collected myself over the past 5 years. A lot of high-grade silver, and you see that around the perimeter here, which is what's to be expected in a carbonate replacement end member of a porphyry system. So what we've done is we've placed this yellowish red diagram here is actually the footprint of a mine called Bingham Canyon in Utah. So it's been in production for about 300 years or so. What a lot of people don't know about Bingham Canyon is the perimeter here where these black marks are, that's skarn and carbonate replacement. All of that kind of low-hanging fruit was mined for about 100 years before they even started going after the red area, which is the porphyry. So again, matching up here against a lot of these other world-class deposits. We have a couple other examples here, the Nika and the Santa Eulalia West. They're in Chihuahua, Mexico. Very large systems, greater than 45 million ton, zinc, lead, silver, carbonate replacement. And then we also have Taylor deposit here, which is actually the highest tonnage, but the smallest superficial footprint of all of them. And that was bought for $1.8 billion by South 32 back in 2018. So these systems, if you can find all parts of these very big systems, you can, as early as you can, you want to find out if you have, the porphyry alteration, the skarn, and then the CRD. And we're lucky enough to be also producing some really good grade in our drill intercepts. This is what you'd expect to see looking in on a long section here. So for Santa Eulalia, for instance, There was a 70-meter outcrop that was found back in the 1600s by Spanish prospectors. And then that one occurrence was followed for over 200 years in mining. And they found that these mineralized areas, which is your black and your red, are stacked down beneath the carbonate beds below. So here's proof of what we've pulled out of the ground so far. There's the massive sulfide part, which is your high-grade silver primary. Every single intercept you'll see has copper in it as well, and that's what leads us to believe that there is a big-time copper-bearing intrusion that's beneath us. You'll see, again, the grades are pretty outstanding. This is a 1.16 meter intercept, part of a larger 5.6 meter intercept. 1,100 grams silver, 46% zinc lead, 0.5% copper. There's even a gold credit in there, and there's also some tellurium associated with it as well. Down below here, you're going to find what I find actually the most interesting, and these are basically some alteration sandwiches that we've hit with the drill bit. Our deepest hole so far was 471 meters, and in the last 30 meters of that hole, our copper picked up in the form of chalcopyrite, and we're starting to get out of this quartz sericite pyrite zone and getting closer into the potassic zone, which again does have chalcopyrite in it. We also have heavy molybdenum veining, which you'll see here, and we have A to D style veining. Again, all of the signs you look for to move forward on a project like this. So after all the success we had, late August last year, we decided to do a 3D IP survey over about 2.5 kilometers of, again, this is all superficial mineralization. We can actually see and touch at surface. You can see it goes on for 2.5 kilometers in the form of skarn, and then as you get distally, more carbonate replacement. So again, you get higher silver as you step out. So at the very end of that hole, this hole 006, it comes down into this magenta blob here, and this magenta blob is registering a chargeability of 80 millivolt per volt, which is like astronomically high. And again, these red discs represent copper intercepts. So our copper, as soon as we started to get down near this, started to get hot. But keep in mind, this drilling was done a year before this survey was produced. And you can just see that there's a ton of skarn at surface here. We've actually drilled at galley here, and we had 6.4 meters of 5.6 ounce silver, 17% zinc lead, 0.5% copper. We had 8 meters of 6 ounce silver with 17% zinc lead. Within that, there was a 1 meter intercept of about 1,000 grams silver, 50% zinc lead. So, we're getting grade and we're getting copper in everything. It's hard to see in this picture here, but this is a very highly vein density rock that we've drilled into right at the end. It's a tonalite rock, and it's highly altered. This is a diagram basically that sums up all of the data that we've achieved so far, and what basically it states is that in this area right here, this is where we're getting our highest resistivity. This is where those drill holes were that I just showed you on the map. As you step into this area, we're getting higher copper and moly, both in grab samples at surface and at depth. As you step into the red area here, you're going to get more skarn, zinc and lead rich. And then just on the brinks of the blue area, that's where you get your kilogram per ton silver. And then we have, hundreds of these epithermal veins that surround this area. So all these, characteristics and attributes here are leading us into this one central position, and it's thanks to all this technical work that we've been able to do over the last 3 years. So we're moving along quite quickly. There's a bunch of academic studies ongoing right now that we're trying to figure out the specific age dates of the area, because remember, this land has never been staked before. We're the first company ever to move in the area, so it's obviously taken time here to figure everything out. But yeah, we got $5 million that's set aside for drilling this year, and we're going to start in June drilling, and we're going to do anywhere between 4,500 to 6,500 meters. And it's going to be extremely exciting to see what this chargeability anomaly has to offer. So if you have any questions for me at all, you can drop by the booth, and I have a couple hand specimens there as well with the the kilogram per ton silver. And yeah, thanks for having me.